Okay, what's up? What's up? So I'm live here on YouTube, also live on Instagram and Facebook, um, with a very, very good friend of mine. This man was the best man at my wedding. We met 20 something years ago. We're going to get into that. But these are crazy times right now. Extremely important that we all do something. So in the midst of a crazy studio move and all kinds of stuff that I have going on, I want to take a minute or as long as it takes to have a chat with my best friend on the planet. So I'm going to introduce you guys right now. This is my man, my guy, JT Wallace. What's up, JT?
What's up? Peace, love, and vibes. Everyone
So
hope you're doing well.
yeah, man. Nobody knows you, bro. Nobody knows who you are on this side because uh, we're not musically related in that way. So you and I have a connection that goes way beyond music, way beyond, you know, just being military buddies or any of that stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have a kinship, we have a bond, we have a real, this is a real relationship. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the obstacles that we had. Let's talk about how we met. And if you want to say anything, we're also here on IG. So what's up to IG? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad, anybody's here to take part in a discussion with people you care about to hopefully inspire or just do something, right? And you and I were
Yes.
talking earlier this morning about some things. And it's just like what better time than now to just do it.
What? Yes. What better time than now? And there is no format, no formal way to do this. We're just kind of winging it. We're getting on here live, and we're sharing our stories, our story, and our stories with you all to kind of help transcend everything that's going on, to kind of help people see through and see past what could be an illusion, um, what could be hearsay, um, what could be word of mouth. So I
Let's
can
bring some
talk
facts.
real quick about um, factually meeting somebody, without knowing who they are or seeing them. So we talk about knowing people, having faith in people, meeting somebody that you know, but you don't really know them. You haven't really seen them. Um, I can think of religious concepts that cover this all the time. Well, guess what? This actually happened in real life with me and this man right here on the other end of this camera. Right now, we are thousands of miles away from each other, and in the same country, but we're thousands of miles away from each other. And we met back when we didn't have this kind of technology. We actually met at a stoplight in a car, less than a mile away from each other,
Less than a foot.
um, less than a foot away from each other. So basically, we were both sitting at a stoplight. We had um, some little European cars, modified. Wasn't nothing big about them. No Mustangs or Camaros or nothing. Nothing too expensive. And we had tinted windows, so we really couldn't see each other. In fact, I had like 5% tints at the time,
I
so
had
I know he couldn't
5%
see
and
me.
yep, exactly. I couldn't see out basically at nighttime. You can't see out the sides.
Nope. So with that being said, you get that feeling, that intuition. Something just tells you, like, hey, man, I'm gonna rev my gas pedal and I'm gonna greet this guy from the
Drop
side
the
of the
hammer. Drop the hammer.
car.
When that light goes green, we're dropping the hammer. It was a mutual agreement without speaking.
With no words exchanged. As soon as the light turned green, we went.
We
And
were
this is
both
way,
gone.
we're talking about before Fast and Furious was even written. Yes, I say written. So we're not talking about, we wanted to beat some Fast and Furious guys, stuff that we've seen. We hadn't seen none of that stuff. I never met someone at a stoplight and random at a stoplight, just to put it in perspective for you. That's really something I don't do. Like, yeah, we'll do a little something from one light to another, but we went from one stoplight to one, and then the other stoplight turned red. And
About
then we
10.
had this. we had more awkward moments where we're just sitting in our cars. We're wondering who's behind the wheel, but we kind of really don't care because we're connecting. There was a connection there. So this connection transcended skin color automatically.
I got goosebumps just even thinking about it.
This transcends the color of your car automatically. Really, we didn't care about what color our cars were, what we had. We were just making a connection genuinely. So what makes this story even better is that we were even. I couldn't beat his car. He couldn't beat my car. His car was actually an import, made in America. My car was a domestic, made in Japan. So let's put all the stuff aside from, oh, his car was faster than yours or his car was slower than yours. We were meant to be equals from the beginning. We tried to use a man-made creation like a car and be better than each other, and it didn't work. So this is where we introduce meeting people transcending this color.
Yeah, and the last thing that you saw was my fingers out the window. I had to turn. I had to go another direction. So we got to the last stoplight where I had to turn around, and I just put my fingers out the window just to say, peace, bro. That was dope.
Oh, that gesture. Yes.
That was it. And
that was it.
And then I had a couple different interactions with JT after that, and didn't even know that was the guy that I was racing against. So we would all meet up at these local spots, car show spot, car club spots and whatnot. And I would see this dude, with his collared shirt on, with his baggy pants, with his keychain hanging out his pocket. And he was always there. He was always, chilling, spreading positive vibes. And then I just seen his car one day, and I was like, "That's you?" "Yeah, man, we met already." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's you." So we had barbecues. We did other things while we were in the military, but really where our, I would say our kinship started was when we moved in together. We did have interactions, parties, things like that, running the roads, causing trouble. Yes, we were in the military, but we weren't playing by the rules whatsoever. And we ended up getting a place together off base, and we ended up, doing many things. We had guns in the house. We had guns confiscated from us.
We both faced the law together.
Yeah, that night was crazy because a bunch of white cops came into our house and found all kinds of illegal guns in our house, along with a lot of drugs. And we all should have been locked up that night. Actually, the lead cop was a black cop, if I remember correctly. But they were pulling out weapons left and right. "Is this yours?" "Nope." "All right, we're taking that." "Is this yours?" "Nope." "Okay, we're taking that." So, these little things kind of happen in your life, I think, and you don't take action. You don't say, "Well, that was a close call. I'm going to straighten up." Man, it takes sometimes huge consequences for you to see that you're going down a bad path,
And we were treated equally, by the way, by these police officers. They didn't treat me differently because I was a person of color. They didn't treat him any differently because he was white. They both had equal thoughts of evilness in their head. They wanted to bust us for something. They didn't care what color we were. Their job was to bust us and to find something to bust us for.
Yeah, they had no reason even to be in our house. They made up some shit. What are you going to do? Came in the house, took over, and they took everything that we had, some things that weren't even ours. But you know what? I felt like we got off light. I don't know about you, man, but I felt like we got off real light.
Well, yes, sir. We transcended it as an experience.
Yeah.
We didn't dwell on it. We didn't let it get us down. We didn't say that we were oppressed because it happened. We were thankful that we didn't get arrested or anything like that, but we just transcended it as an experience.
Yeah, and having, I mean, look, I came from a place where the minority is very, very small. You've been here, you know what it's like where I live. So for me, it was a blessing to be surrounded by so many people of color all the time. You know, um, it's just I think as a white person, you have to have the ability to speak on behalf of the minorities. If you want change, the only way change is actually going to happen is if white people care. White people are the majority in this country, especially old white people. You people need to care. And I'm hoping that with enough of this, and it does feel that way. It does feel that way. It does feel like, in spite of a president who doesn't give a shit, and in spite of all this tragic kind of this visual that we're all getting right now, that we are on the brink of something huge. And I think it's up to every white person in America to do something. So if you're in a place where there's no protests, you're in a place where there's no riots, and you're in a place where you can't really put your hands on the problem, do something. Give money, give time, reach out to people, do something.
Do stuff like this.
Do something like this.
There's a lot of people of color out there as well who need to stand with the people of non-color or white people that haven't been discriminated against in the system. Let's look at the holistic perspective here. There's a lot of people of this skin complexion who've never been in trouble, never been discriminated against, never been arrested. This man here's been put in handcuffs. He knows how it feels to be restrained. It's a tiresome thing. It's very draining. I told someone today, I said, one day going through a questioning and then your rights being read to you and then being arrested, then being thrown in a jail cell is equivalent to one day's worth of protest. So I'll run that back by you again. Going through the whole process of being pulled over, questioned, taken into the car, handcuffed, then put in jail. That whole process, it takes hours. It's like going through one protest. So to those people who have gotten out there and protested for hours, like the whole day, hats off to you. You kind of have went through the experience a little bit. For those people,
and I personally want to thank everybody who's out there doing that. People that are out there in the streets, people that are out there putting the energy and physical effort into trying to do something. I want to thank everybody that is doing that. And please keep it up. And please reach out to me personally if you think there's anything I can do to help.
Yes.
So
I'll put the emphasis on peaceful.
Peaceful.
Put that out there peacefully.
Absolutely.
If you've thrown one rock or even had the thought of looting or destroying, then you're not on the same level of thinking.
And you said something to me earlier today that I was hoping maybe you would just even briefly talk about or just state it again, where you said that you knew that me as a being wasn't like. Do you remember this conversation that we had?
Mm-hmm.
Could you just? Are you okay with just talking about?
Oh yeah.
Because I gave you a specific text message this morning about in the face of this and that, it ain't gonna matter to me.
No. Basically, we were talking about was it support for protests?
Yeah, the family about.
Okay, yeah. So
no matter,
yes. Yes. So when it comes to you as an individual, okay, we're talking about you as an individual. We're not talking about your group. We're not talking about your parties. We're not talking about these movements. I'm not talking about any of that. Okay, me and this man are coming to you as individuals. So this is what we're explaining things to you as.
Just from our experience.
Exactly. We have nothing against all these movements, but everything we're telling you is things that you do for the self and on your own self time. So don't take all this information and jump to the next party and be like, ooh, no, this is for you, for the self. So with that being said, I'll go into what we were talking about earlier. you come into this lifetime, into this life, you're born under parents, under people that have completely different morals from you, completely different values from you, and completely different backgrounds than you do. Okay, so let's get that all out of the bag. A lot of people have family that are either non-supportive or not saying anything, and I want you to know that that's okay, because these people are different from you all the time. You know, there's a teenager I live with, and all the time she tells me, I was born in 2003, you were born in 19 whatever, we're from two different, you know, you think differently than me. And that slowly has educated me, because that is exactly how I look at it with people I was born under. My parents, my uncles and aunts, my family. These people were born under a whole different situation. Some might be baby boomers, white picket fence life, work a job 20-year life. That's not how you are. How you are is how you are. You were born here under your parents strictly for that, and that's it. Anything else about their morals, how they eat, all of that is stuff that you picked up and absorbed from them. You didn't have to pick up any of that. You don't have to eat steak because they eat steak. You choose to eat steak because they eat steak. So with that being said, don't be confused. Don't feel alone or lost if your family's not agreeing with you about being different, about siding with people of color, about helping out other people, period. You know, about being a shining light for people. So
Yeah, and it's totally fine if people don't agree with you, but you know, if you think that having a point of view on this subject, if you have a point of view and you think that it's not worth speaking on because you're afraid, that is contributing to the problem, because we're not having conversations. So this man told me earlier that you struggle to find the words, but I'm going to say what you said. You told me that I'm not the one, me personally, JT to Will. Will, you're not the one that is having the problem dealing with this. You you have a bit more of an open mind. Could be. Let me just speak about JT's current passions in yoga, in holistic treatments, and things of that nature. So he was speaking on past experiences without experiencing them. We can learn from other people without having to go through struggles ourselves. And JT's a believer that we are embedded with history. We're born with history. So JT, can you talk about what you said earlier about if you would have listened to people when we were growing a friendship? You talked about how, you know, if you listened to certain people around you, we might not be friends.
yes, so you get these. We're going to talk about a little bit of mysticism here, intuition, things like instinct, things like past lives. So there's a reason you feel connected to people of color. There's a reason you feel so connected to a certain person or mogul. And the connection sometimes will be so deep that you'll tend to want to be like them or want to be similar to what they do. And a lot of times that connection is because we live these multiple lifetimes, and we could have been a person of color in our past life. You know, look at all, we can use this example for a lot of what we call metrosexuals. These are men who are very, very feminine in their aspects, very feminine. In fact, some of them can even come off as looking like a female, but they're not. They're just really into their feminine side. Well, 9 times out of 10, their past life, they were a female. That's just an example. With that being said, as far as the subject that we were talking on today, these feelings can cause you to be connected because of these instincts coming out. You know, when we have situations like this, certain things in you will come out. When we talk about the holistic perspective, what's on the outside comes in. Okay, there's stuff on the inside that's going to come out from this situation, right? So the stuff that's on the inside that's coming out in a lot of people, myself, Billy here, is things that we dealt with on our instinctual path, our past lives. So a lot of people are really, really cool and down that are not of color. And you're like, man, this person got some soul. Well, most likely they were a person of color in their past life. And because of that, that's why you transcend the color in your current life. And that's why you're able to remain cool with some of these people, regardless of when, now we're going to talk about the 3D world. The physical world comes in and tries to jar your instincts, right? So we have these instincts when we meet people. And then someone comes in and starts talking in your ear. Oh man, they're not cool. They're just a wannabe. They're not down. They're just acting. So if you listen to those people, that takes your higher dimension of thinking down to a lower dimension. You're thinking on the earth plane now, the regular level. Okay, let's put it in perspective. I met this guy from my car inside of his car, right? We met on a level that's not physical, that's out of this world. So when people started trying to talk to me, telling me he's a wannabe, he's a poser, they're trying to bring me down to that physical level of thinking on in the world, and I couldn't listen to them, okay? Because here's a guy I met from my car in his car. So you telling me all this stuff in the physical, he's a poser, blah blah blah. It's just talk to me for one. For two, I'm not going to bring myself down to that level. So that's what we have with people all the time. You know, I told you earlier, I said, everyone you meet, you're in love with them. We find reasons to fall out of love with people. We find excuses that make them regular. We find reasons to make us hate them, really, unless they're upfront a hateful person. Now, let's just be real. There's evil people out there. As soon as you see them,
can you say that? You need to say that whole phrase again, because that right there could possibly explain every experience I've ever had in my life.
The coming down.
Well, you said, listening to people. You just taught. Maybe I can run it back later, but you were just saying that these are the steps that bring you from where you are to where you end up if you listen to it.
Yes. So we meet people and we automatically meet this inner version of themselves. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Instead of we meet people at face value, yes, we do. But some people we just have that connection with. When we meet them, there's a connection there that's beyond what we see them as. It's kind of like that person you meet and you immediately give them a pet name. You don't even know them, but you're giving them a nickname. Like that's
right.
A connection.
Right.
So other people, maybe they see the connection you have and they start trying to dumb down that connection. Let's just say it in the relationship aspect. When you first meet your girlfriend, your wife, you're so in love with them, right? Because that's how you start off. You start off in love. Then you find reasons to fall out of love and hate each other and then not like each other. But when you first meet them, it's this pure connection of love, of just this person is the greatest. The more you get to know them, of course, that's when darkness kicks in and people and things and doubts and all this stuff kicks in. And then you start believing all the stuff that people say or the doubts coming in.
But you had the instincts. You had the instincts in the beginning.
You had the instinct.
If you just listened to that from the beginning, you wouldn't hear all the noise.
Exactly.
So if you're a white person and you can meet another white person and immediately have a connection with them and trust them and believe in them, even go so far as to make a business arrangement, tie up money with a person after a single meeting, you should be able to do the same exact thing no matter what the color of their skin is. It has absolutely no bearing on the type of person they are.
Yes.
So, your instincts are perfect at birth.
Yes. Let me give shout outs to everyone in here. I got a lot of people on IG. Thank you for joining. I did not think I'd have this.
I see everybody too. What's up? What's up, Kane?
What's up, Cuz? He's in here. My cousin Tony.
Almost lost you.
Jessica's in here. Hey, Jessica.
So it's definitely an important conversation. And, I would just want to say to anybody that wants to do something and you don't know what it is, listen to the Black community. They will tell you what they want. And if you don't have an opinion on it, you know what? You should. You should really have an opinion at this point in time. It's it's not too hard to see that what's happening is completely.
Well, another thing, I'm going to add to that, as well as the black community. Listen to our women as well. Um, I'm just looking at my friend Jessica here, a girl I dated. She has a mixed daughter. Um, you need to listen to these women. You don't need to discriminate that these women have mixed kids, first of all, because for one, these women are almost more holistic than I am. If you have birthed a kid of mixed color, and even with your situation, Billy, his daughter is mixed with Asian.
Yeah, my wife is
mixed.
Absolutely, yeah.
If your kid's mixed with anything, if you have any woman who has a mixed child, then yes, they have carried inside of them this mixture, this plethora of what we have going on in society today. And I thought about this earlier, reaching out to my daughter who's mixed and letting her know, hey, call me if you have any questions, any thoughts or anything. But really, it's her mother that needs to call me. So these women who have these mixed kids, first of all, let's not judge them. A lot of them get judged just, oh, you just want to have a mixed kid. No, that's not the case. Okay, I've dated a lot of women who have mixed kids. No, it's not. None of them has ever said I wanted to have a mixed kid. They might have said mixed kids are strong, or mixed breeds are stronger, but that's another subject. But they didn't purposely want to have a mixed kid. Instinctively, they were drawn to somebody of color. Instinctively, their child picked them and their colored father and their white mother as donors on purpose. Okay, all these mixed kids being born in the world, you think they're being born mixed coincidentally? No, they want to be born mixed so we can get rid of all this pot that we got going on. Okay, so that's why I talk about we're all mixed. Soon that saying will no longer just be a saying. Soon it will be a real thing. Everyone will be mixed. Everyone will be mixed. We got Drake, all these new rappers that are mixed. Everyone will be like them. And then this discussion will be no more. But until that happens, we, the OGs, the guys who've been around for a long time, will have to keep coming on here and discussing that.
I mean, I've been saying for the last couple of years that I always felt like the Trump support is not really gonna be a forever thing, but it is taking way longer than I thought. I mean, I figured the majority of the Trump support comes from old white Americans, and sooner or later they're gonna start falling off. And I hate to look at it like that because I don't want to look at anybody as a lost cause, but I feel like as time goes, our children are absorbing this responsibility of fixing everything that the majority of our country has helped to make a big problem. My daughter is well equipped. She's about to graduate, which is a crazy situation in itself, but she is well equipped to deal with the hate that is currently in our world, in our United States. And not only her, but her friends, their friends. They are the most open-minded community that we are very very lucky to have such an open-minded and our kids, man, they're gonna fix this. It's just sad that they have to be the ones that absorb it, and I want to do whatever I can to help speed that process up to take some of the burden away. They will fix it, but it's just
yes. I admire your passion, and as you guys can see here, this man is very passionate. And what I can say to him and everyone out there is just plant seeds. We would love for this process to be quick, but it's not going to be a quick process. In fact, it's already been going on for hundreds of years. But all we can do is do the same thing that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King did. And I'm not talking about protesting. I'm talking about planting seeds. We need to plant the seeds. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm mixed, and from the time period that I was born and because of my age, I'm considered a black man. But because of what I'm mixed with and what's going on in the current age, I'm just as mixed as my daughter, honestly. I'm Irish, Scottish, and indigenous. So I got a lot of stuff in me. So I'm one of the first few guys coming to you from a mixed perspective. And when we talk about evolution and evolving, we can't evolve if we're dwelling on the same concepts. Black and white is not evolution. I'm sorry. Mixing black and white is evolution. It's like the colors. You want to get a new color, you got to mix two old colors, right? So we got to start mixing our old colors so we can get a new color.
Yeah, and if you feel like you know, hey, it's an insane time that we're in right now. It's hard to really put into words the gravity of where we're at right now, and it's usually pretty easy for me to get focused on, you know, a creative project, but I felt compelled to be the one of the ones that are saying, you know, we're given 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth, so it's time to watch and listen and not talk. And that's just, you know, as a person coming from the standpoint of somebody that's experienced white privilege at its highest degree, you know. I came from a place into a military where I was a minority, where I was probably one of just a few white people in my in my basic training and whatnot. And I had some giant missteps because I wasn't aware of a problem that, you know, it wasn't that I was numb to it. I just didn't. I grew up listening to Guns N' Roses. I grew up listening to I'm the guy that, you know, lives in Antarctica and thinks that penguins are a normal friend to have, you know. Like, I had maybe 2 African American students in my high school. So when I'm in basic training, I'll share this. I'm in basic training, and I now understand that saying I don't see color is actually a problem. So you need to see color, because in order to see change, to help change, you need to be able to see the problem. So if you're the type of person that says I don't see race, I don't see color, stop saying that. And I'm in basic training, and I'm looking down the line, you know. And so for me, I wanted to show some support or some love. And even though I didn't know how to do it, I definitely went about it the wrong way. You know, like my experience with the African American community was all on MTV, on television. So when I see LL Cool J, you know, hitting his chest with a fist and kissing his fingers, I thought that was a normal, accepted greeting, goodbye, or whatever, for me to do. So I'm in a group, we're standing outside, and I'm literally the only there, the only white dude there. And so we're all just joking around, talking, you know, about different things and that. And then as the drill sergeant came over, somebody was like, all right, let's line up. And I did that. I did the LL Cool J thing, and they all just looked at me and just went, and I think that they understood that I didn't mean anything by it, and I didn't mean anything by it. But that was my experience with, you know, the Black community, was what I saw on TV. And it was only like way down the road that I saw how that probably put me in a bad way just to start my relationship with these guys. You know,
and
it's that cool trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've been held to the fire many times for that, for trying too hard. And I want to try to just real quickly, I just want to try to pivot with that, with trying too hard. Right now is the same person. What I'm doing right now, this is the same person that did that. So if this is what people that try too hard do, we need more people that try too hard. Because if I'm going to try hard to understand and to help, then other people need to understand that that's what I'm here for. And maybe there's other people that are like me that want to help and that want to do more, but they're afraid of stepping on toes because they probably felt like they don't have a voice to speak on the matter. And so I think it's important for the African American community to also give support to the ones that are trying to give support. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Billy. I'm going to step in real quick and let you know that that's a misnomer. You know, what you learned from LL Cool J was LL Cool J's thing. That's not a culture. That's not hip hop. That's LL Cool J's thing. We need to really, really be open to the fact that the culture of hip hop was all televised. It's all an illusion. It was all made up. Certain people do certain things, right? I do peace, love, and vibes, right? That's me. That's not a culture. That's not hip hop. You know, that's not on TV. People take that and they create that. So,
do you feel a black man that is faux pas?
I do, man. I think we each have our own style and we're all weird. I think that society puts stuff together, paints a picture, and then we try to follow that picture like a freaking Pied Piper style.
Because is being a black yogi, is that cool?
I'm just a yogi.
right. So I'm just saying, like where I was saying, where you were saying that maybe I connect with the culture because maybe in a past life, maybe that's what I was. I don't know. And in your case, you're saying something kind of similar, just in the opposite way. You're saying that maybe you were a Buddhist, or maybe you were a yoga. I don't know, but it's
I was definitely
just
Hindu monk in my past life, actually, one of my past lives.
Right.
So we what do you think we're doing the whole time we're alive? Trying to finish stuff we did from past lives. Real quick though, let me go back to a phrase you said, and let me give you a better phrase. Saying I don't see color, I don't see race. Yes, stop saying that, because we have two eyes and we have to use them to look. Let's just be real. That's the 3D world. Instead, let's try saying I don't feel race. I don't feel color, because that's something we can't feel, honestly. There's no way to feel race or color, really, in reality. You make yourself feel a concept of race, and you make yourself feel a concept of color that's presented to you by someone that wants to divide and conquer you. So with the vision, with that being said, I wanted to go back to the thing. You were in the military, you were connecting with a part of yourself. You didn't know what to do instinctually, so you did what you thought you did in the 3D world, and you did something you saw in TV. So that's a misnomer, because MTV taught you that, and you were really trying to connect with that part of yourself. You just didn't know how, because we were born with amnesia. We forget who we were and what we did in past lives, unless we do a lot of meditating, shadow work, and past life regression, which I do all three. But I want to tell you that that person was a different version of you. Okay, every day we're changing, we're creating ourselves. In fact, at the beginning of this podcast, I'm not the same person I am now. Every day I'm kind of changing, evolving. Every minute something's different about me. So that person you were back in the military doing the LL Cool J thing, you wouldn't do that now, because you're a different guy. You know, you're a different version of yourself.
That's very
true. You wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't do that. So we have to also realize, if we grow every day, if we change every day, if we evolve, then we have to believe that racism, oppression, all that stuff will evolve too. We can't just believe that we're gonna grow as people. Oh yeah, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna be good. But no one ever says, hey, racism, oppression. You got to say that every day. You know, if you want to change yourself every day, what do? You make the effort to change yourself every day. You might go to the gym to get buff. to get bigger. You want to get bigger arms. You do it every day, right? If we want to get rid of race, oppression, color, all that, we need to work on it every single day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Focus on the process of growth.
So nonchalantly, and this is really the moral of this whole conversation, me and this guy have been working on that for 20 plus years. Okay, let's put it in perspective. We've been breaking the race card, the race barrier, for 20 years now. So this is why I can honestly say I don't feel color. I really don't see color because it's been 20 years. But of course I do see color, but I don't. So
I understand.
this is what we're talking about. A lot of people will address this issue, be fired up about it, and in a week from now, they'll be on the next thing moving. So whatever it is that your passion is, whatever you're gonna do to make change, to usher in change, you have to work on it every day. The same way you work on yourself every day. So whatever you do inward, you got to do outward. So me actually telling this to you and this video is helping me because it's actually something I need to work on a little bit every day on a platform like this.
Right.
Since I've been doing this on the shadow side. You know, when I say the shadow side, I mean not in the light of everyone else.
Well, we do
in
this.
the light of William.
We do this one-on-one with a lot of people. I know personally, I probably, and you guys don't have to admit that you're friends with me. I'm not going to call you guys out, but we all know that we all have personal connections. I could go down a list of anybody that's watching this knows we are friends. Whether you come on my channel, whether you support me, whether you support what I do, you know I'm a good man. This man right here, over here, this man right here works tirelessly offline, making connections with people to try to help them in the way he knows how. It's the same thing with me. So reaching out to people, getting uncomfortable, having conversations, they don't need to be always for show. And for me, it's way more important to have a personal relationship with people, to have an actual connection with someone than to have followers. You know, I don't care.
Powerful statement. Say that again, please, sir.
It's way more important to have personal relationships with people and to connect with people on a one-on-one basis than it is to have followers.
Boom.
It's not that hard. When you care about people, you care about people. Yeah, music's cool. Yeah, I like to hear dope stuff from my friends, but I care about you. I care about your kids. You know, I go to bat for people I care about. I put in extra effort. I remember when it's their birthday. I send them things because I care about them. I help them fix things in their homes. I send people equipment. I do this stuff because I care, not because I'm trying too hard, because I actually care. So show people that you care. Get in touch with people. Tell people you love them. JT, I love you, bro, and you know that. So,
too, man.
I don't want anybody to think for a second that they can't get in touch with somebody because it's weird or because they don't want to step on toes or whatever. If the worst thing somebody has to say about you is that you're corny or that you try too hard, I'm good with that.
That's good stuff. I'd rather have that. In fact, I've been getting that my whole life.
Exactly.
I'm used to it.
Exactly.
Like, you know, we are the ones who, I mean, we're the ones talking now. The weird people, you know, the people who weren't that in.
The ones that came from up there on a spaceship. So, we're here.
Yeah.
Trying to help.
Part alien guys are here to help you guys ascend past the illusions and the 3D level of consciousness. You know, that's just basically the bottom line. At one point, me and this guy, this is the good thing about our evolution and our growth. We used to be so into cars that was our whole life. We wouldn't be talking right now. We'd be under the hood. But we've taken that, we've evolved from that, and we've taken the knowledge we've learned from building on cars, and now we help build ourselves. Well, then we help build ourselves.
I was making corny ass beats though on that, like on that E-Machine.
I mean, but you know, it's still, the thing about it is these inner workings we do, playing with electronics, cars, computers, it's all a representation of working on ourselves.
Yeah,
then you learn to work on yourself. Then once you work on yourself, then you're like, oh man, I can work on other people or help other people. You have the choice, basically. So yeah, at that point, you choose. You can keep helping yourself, or you can help other people and yourself simultaneously. You don't have to help other people. Like, let's be real, okay? Let's take the cat out of the bag. We don't have to help other people.
Right.
We don't have to be up here talking. You don't have to protest. You don't have to do anything. It's all a choice, guys. This is a free spirit planet. You know?
Yes.
Up there, see a free spirit? It's a free spirit planet. We have free will to do whatever we want. We got free will to walk up to someone and shoot them. We also have free will to walk up to someone and hug them. So the question is, which one are you going to choose?
And I want to point people to the live chat too. If you ever see this on playback, I want to just point people to the live chat so that you can see any discussions that are happening there as well. And I appreciate anything that anybody has to offer.
Yes, any comments, concerns, questions.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil and Kane and
TGI Vintage that just joined. And whoever's still watching, I know we've been
absolutely. Absolutely. And somebody says give without expectations. And I would even add to that, do nice things and don't even tell anybody.
Yes. Be the secret saint.
Help people and don't tell anybody you did it. Try that. And you can't do that. You have probably some work to do.
And don't expect the reward from it, even though you don't expect the reward from it. Like
right.
The comment just said, don't expect expectations. Some people will do the good deed, not expect anything from the person.
Yes.
Then they'll come to me and they'll be like, yeah, man, they should have gave me something.
Right.
So
yeah.
Don't remember, our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are what create our reality. So if you're giving someone something, but you're thinking bad, then your reality is going to be distorted. So you got to want to do the good deed and be thinking about that it's a good deed. Plant seeds.
Plant seeds.
Let your deeds be seeds.
Also, hold on one second here. Okay, so if there's anybody that wants to come in and say something right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. If you're cool with that, Jay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna leave this link in here. There are people watching, and if you're on IG, shoot over to YouTube. Actually, you could probably find my channel on Instagram if you want to go over to my profile. That way you can come in if you wanted to say something. You can come in and add to this conversation. Just go to the live chat.
If you got questions, we're gonna do this again. I'm sure we will. So if you have questions for another session, let us know. Topics
or a comment or an opinion. You know, I don't have any answers.
We're open. You know, I posted on my story the other day. If people wanted to share their experiences, please share. I mean, your run-ins with the law, any discrimination. We want to share that it's not just me. You know, it's him too. It's everyone that gets discriminated by the law. They just highlight the people of color and certain people with certain names that carry certain vibrations to actually highlight. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy, myself, a lot of people of all races and colors, including some women, talked to a female earlier who got arrested with me in Georgia in 2016 because we had a little bit of weed. I had a little bit of weed on me, but it was.
Oh, I know, man. I know. I was trying to bail your ass out.
Yeah. So it's not discriminating against certain people. Hate is hate. Evil is evil. Darkness is darkness, guys. It doesn't discriminate at all. It's just people control the media and people control what we call in yoga Maya, or the illusion. Your illusion is controlled. So
I mean, it's crazy. I've done federal prison time. I've been locked up several times. I've done a lot of jail time. Look, I'm not
even jail is an illusion.
You may have a preconceived notion about me and how I've navigated adulthood, but trust me, I've been around and seen some things and have evolved a lot since I was, an adult. From the day I turned 18 till now, I'm a completely different human being. This man has been beside me pretty much the entire time, except for like a stretch of 10 years where Facebook didn't exist. But
We
yeah,
still walk similar paths.
yes, we did. And for you to be at my wedding, you had to come several states. And you got there. You're the best man at my wedding. And I appreciate your friendship so much. I can't tell you, man, how much it's meant to me to have you, a very like-minded individual, a kind person, always there. You don't know this. Everybody listening, this guy is the one that introduced me to Marco Polo. So everybody that knows me on Marco, I got probably over 150 people on Marco. This is the reason why. This guy right here, he's the one. You think I introduced you to Marco Polo? That's not true, man. You introduced me to Marco Polo, and that's been an amazing way to connect with other people face to face, where you get to see what color people are. You get to hear their stories. This is the kind of stuff we need. We need face-to-face connections with people. And if all you can do is a virtual connection over a phone, do it. Do it. And reach out, tell people they're important to you.
The connection needs to happen, guys. And if you're in the town and you're in the city, I challenge you to do this. I've done this. Go to the most colorful part of town and go to a bar and sit there and see how you feel. Go to the most colorful part of town. And where I used to live in Hampton, Virginia, it'd be Applebee's or Fridays. Go to one of those bars. You're full of people of color and just sit in the bar and see how you feel. Let me tell you, as a bartender of 12 years, and I've bartended at some of these colorful bars, the one white person comes in and he's the number one guy in the bar or girl in the bar. Like, there's no discrimination. There's no hate. There's always love. Like, a lot of people just don't get it because they don't travel. You and I are well traveled. So that's a challenge to anyone who's living in a city that is a majority of one color. Travel to a city that's the opposite and see how you feel.
I've also got something that could even help somebody who doesn't have that option. If you want to work on being uncomfortable, or you need to open up to certain experiences, but you don't know how, here's something for you. I've got two things for you. First thing, next time you're going into an elevator, instead of walking in and pressing the button and turning your back to everybody, press the button and stand there and look at everybody. Just stand there and just look at everybody and smile. And you will be awkward. You will feel uncomfortable. But you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to get beyond the uncomfortable feelings. I've done this on live streams. I don't want to make music live. I don't want to be stressed out, freaking out, anxiety. But the more I do it, the better I feel. This works in racism. This works all over the world. If you're uncomfortable, practice, get there. Find a way to get there. The other way, so get in front of an elevator and turn around. Yes, that's one way. My wife was being followed, being harassed, being it's just because she's an attractive woman and guys want to follow her around. She was living in Boston at the time. Dudes were getting off at her bus stop just to follow her home, to find out where she lived. She had to toughen up. I had to give her similar type of advice. I said, look, if you really want to be able to tell people to get off you, back up, give me some space, you have to kind of be able to be not nice when you know it's important. So here's a little simple thing you can do. If you think you're that far away where you can't tell somebody that they're doing something that bothers you, try just taking a receipt from some clerk in a grocery store or cashier or whatever. Just try taking it and walking out. I know it puts them at a disadvantage because they're probably saying something like, have a good day or whatever. If somebody says something to you, have a nice day or whatever, just try it once. Just try taking it and just walking out without saying anything. I know it's a very extreme kind of version of that, but my wife was able to, after doing that a couple times, she was able to actually tell people, no, just no.
I'm going to interrupt real quick because IG is about to time out.
Oh, okay.
It gives you an hour. So I'm
Oh
just saying,
shit, it's all good. All right.
peace, love, and vibes, all my IG people.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. We will do this again. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Peace. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you.
Thank you, IG.
Shut that off.
All right.
We'll go ahead and shut this side down too, unless
We can shut it down. One last thing I want to say, and I posted this on my IG. I want to tell you guys here as well. Always, always, always try to avoid calling the authorities. A simple confrontation can be a simple conversation if approached correctly. Again, try not to involve the authorities in your affairs. If you got beef with somebody, please try to work it out as people amongst each other before we call the authorities.
Especially at this moment in time, I think we do need to, what is it called? Like, there's a word for it, like take care of shit in-house.
Self-mediate.
There we go.
Self-mediate.
Self-mediate.
If you need someone to come in and help you that's not a cop but a friend, please do that. But a big thing I am understanding is, again, holistic perspective here, guys. If I was a cop and people called me every day because somebody did something dumb to them, this person called me stupid or fat, people call me every day with dumb stuff like that, then eventually, yes, I'm going to break. These cops are breaking, guys. It's not the cops themselves. It's the demanding job, and it's the people who can't handle shit on their own. And I'm sorry to get passionate, but I'm being real here. I pay child support. My child support was worked out with my mother because we decided as grown-ups that we weren't going to involve the court system. We were going to handle it on our own. And because of that, I have a lot less stress in my life. And we are better people together because there's no interference, there's no third party of the court system being in there telling me I got to pay for my daughter.
So that happened with a conversation.
That happened with a simple conversation. At first, it was a confrontation. I spent probably the better part of a few months arguing with her about child support and all that good stuff. And finally, one day, I was like, you know what? We just need to sit down and talk about this calmly.
Difficult conversation, uncomfortable, but you did it.
So, emphasizing on what I Will Create just said here is getting out of your comfort zone each day will help you be more comfortable. So, have a conversation with someone that's uncomfortable to have a conversation with. And I can tell you this guy does it every day because he's got family that doesn't agree with him every day. So get out of your comfort zone, work things with
not
people,
in my house,
even if it's beef from a long time ago. And even if it's at your house, work it out the best way you can before you call the authorities. Because as soon as you call the authorities, it's out of their hands. And, I can give you a good example as a kid and anyone that's been a kid. If your mom calls the cops and they're arguing, the cop's going to come and arrest your father. It's 100% the case. It's my first, actually, as I'm telling you this, I'm having a recollection here. My first recollection of the cops and situations is when my dad got arrested. I saw my dad get cuffed and put in the back of a car simply because him and my mom were having an argument, disagreeing on something. There were no hands thrown. They were loud, don't get me wrong, but the cops got called and they came and took my dad away. So that trauma right there helped me understand not to call the cops. So I don't call the cops.
Unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, I mean, we have people, this all, so many situations. A brother and a sister I know, they're both grown, arguing about the kids, who's watching the kids, and she ended up calling the cops on him, and he got arrested. So it's stop calling the cops, guys. Work it out, walk away, count to 10, do all those things you need to do. But the minute you call the cops, it becomes out of your hands. So this is what we're trying to say. It's out of your hands the minute you involve somebody else that you don't trust, that you don't know. You don't even know the cops.
Right.
But you call them to help you with your affairs.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'd rather you call me. Call Guru JT. I'll talk to you all day.
Yep.
Hit me on the page or something.
Why don't you, do you see the chat?
Yeah.
Can you put your any info over there, or maybe you can put I can get it from you, and that way if anybody wants to get in touch with JT for holistic stuff.
I'll put my Instagram on here. I'll put my email.
Yeah, do that.
and then I'll let Billy here close out. When he before he closes out, I want to give him a big thanks. Just kind of just jump from a conversation into a full blown getting the word out there. And I have to thank this guy because he's a motivator to me. You know, it's been like a week now. I've been wanting to get online and say something, and I just haven't had the oomph to do it. So thank you, my dude.
Absolutely. And yeah, to a lot of people, I'm a lot of things. Billy, Bill, Hillbilly, the Odd Pilot. So I'm the same guy everywhere I go. Just be caring, be kind to people. And if we come on here and do this again, or maybe I'll bring another person in that has a perspective, just be respectful. Leave a comment and let us know how you feel, how things are going on your side of the world. And of course, you know, hit us up if you have any questions or concerns. So I'm going to leave it there, man. All right, man. Well, I will hit you up in a little while, bro.
All right. Peace, love, and vibes, everyone.
All right. Peace, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Stay positive. Thank you.
Have talks, have conversations. All right. We're out.